Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deidre Malone, and I am a Democrat running for Shelby County Mayor, and I'm a member of this organization, proud member of this organization. Thank you so much, Virgie and Shelby County Democratic Women, for giving us this opportunity to share a little bit about who we are and our platform with you today. I think most of you know that I served on the County Commission for 8 years, was elected by my peers to chairman of the Shelby County Commission, and the first female to serve as budget chairman of the County Commission. I'm very proud of the fact that my peers elected me to hold those positions. And I can tell you that as a small business owner, been in business 11 years, the Carter Malone Group is the name of my firm. Before that, I worked for Alsac St. Jude as a vice president and left there to start the Carter Malone Group. I'm excited about the opportunity to be the next mayor of Shelby County, because I think that we need someone that understands that the county needs to be a little bit more efficient, that the county needs to be about looking out for the people that are less fortunate, and I don't think we've done a good job of that. I think that the current Republican county mayor, you don't hear from him. He doesn't have an opinion on issues that are important to Democrats. And so you need someone as your Democratic nominee who can actually run against the Republican incumbent mayor and win. I'm the only candidate in this race that can run against the Republican county mayor and win. I ask for your support. If you're interested in making sure that we have quality jobs come here to Memphis and Shelby County, you're going to vote for me. If you're interested in learning about how we can shore up, if someone has a strong opinion about when it comes to women's health issues, then you're going to vote for me. If you are interested in having someone in the CEO's position of this county that can actually manage a business and be more efficient in government, then you're going to vote for me. I ask for your vote, I ask for your prayers, and I ask you to join the Malone for Mayor team today. Thank you so much, Virgie, for your time. Thank you for listening.
We have a timekeeper over there.
I'm not ignoring you.
No.
You only use 9 seconds.
When you speak,
Timekeeper
the
outline.
young lady Mary down there, stand up.
You know, you used to have a timekeeper, right?
2 minutes.
Okay. Does anyone have a question?
I know I'm not.
Any questions? Okay.
Pro-choice. I'm very much pro-choice.
Jay, you have a question?
I do. Do you have a position on the I guess sort of quality of the current rape crisis services that are now being provided by the Crime Victim Center?
Do I have an opinion on it?
Well, yeah. I mean, in your view, are they adequate? Are they not?
I think we probably could have additional funding for the Rape Crisis Center. I'm really concerned about specifically one aspect of it. I can tell you that I know that Director Armstrong and Mayor York are looking for revenue to try and help, have the rape kits assessed. But I can also tell you that nobody's bringing up the point that Mark Luttrell was the sheriff when all of this happened. He's been getting a pass by the media, and we should not allow him to get a pass. Because I can tell you that victims have been assaulted outside of the city of Memphis. That's right. And nobody's talking about it. That's right. That's true. So, yes, ma'am.
Would you support the continuing Shelby, sustainable Shelby? And if so, would you change any of the priorities?
I would support it. I think it's a good program, and I think that Mr. Young is doing a good job in terms of administering it, and I would support whatever programs exist under it now.
Oh, yes.
It is?
Yes.
Oh, well,
I'll talk to you later.
Talk to me later, soon. Okay.
I don't know if this is in the county mayor's purview or not. Could you guys put us on possibility of getting money back from the private community to Planned Parenthood? That aspect of they voted to give it, take it away from Planned Parenthood and give it to President?
Yeah, I can tell you, Pat, that's a very good question. I don't know if you heard the question, but the current Republican county mayor recommended, and 7 county commissioners approved the recommendation to move grant dollars from Planned Parenthood to Christ Community. And I'm not sure how long, Pat, we need to learn how long that grant will be held, but I can tell you that I think it was a mistake. And I think that we should do something about it. And as a county mayor, I would do something about it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
No, we didn't know the rules.
Okay. Okay. Steve.
Did you want to introduce yourself? No, he's got something to discuss.
Okay, Steve.
He's declined to introduce, so good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? I want to thank you all for having this forum. I want to thank the DWSC. I'm a big fan of the DWSC. I'm a particularly big fan of the person that you have doing the website maintenance and Facebook design for the DWSC. She's a great person. You want to double her salary. I will say this. You all know my record. I am running for county mayor because I want to take county government in a way more progressive direction than it has been under the Republican mayor, Mark Luttrell. I think you know my record. I think you know that I'm the activist on the county commission. I'm the progressive leader on the county commission. I'm the one who authored and passed the first prevailing wage ordinance, the first living wage ordinance, the first protection of any kind anywhere in Tennessee at any level for the GLBT community. I also think that you know that I've been a supporter on the kinds of issues that are of particular interest to the Democratic women of Shelby County. On the Rape Crisis Center, excellent question. I've been working with the Memphis Area Women's Council about that. When the county took it over, that was a great thing from the city. But right now, under Luttrell, it's been moved around, shuffled from one department to another, folded into this generic crime victims thing. They don't understand that there are unique needs for women who are victims of sexual assault. And you need a specialized unit with specialized training because the problems of a woman who's been sexually assaulted are distinct from an ordinary crime victim. Also, when it comes to pre-K, early childhood education, major part of my platform, a major emphasis in my campaign going forward. I've supported it consistently. On the Title X funding, another excellent question. I was the one early on in 2011 who pointed out the politicization of the process under Mark Luttrell. And when the votes were unfortunately there, we already had 9 votes, not 7 for the contract. I was the one who brokered the deal to insist that there be extra compliance monitoring above and beyond that required by law to make sure that there was no religious proselytization and to make sure there was no steering away from abortion. Since then, I've been the one holding the administration accountable for those low numbers, and now that there's 2 years in a row of low numbers under CCHS, I'm the one who has already publicly gone out in front, the first county commissioner, to say, all right, just very quickly, to stop that funding and to not renew the funding anymore. I'm the leader on these issues. I know I can win. I'm the person who's best able to take it to Mark Luttrell. We're a 60% Democratic county. We need a Democratic county mayor. We deserve a Democratic county mayor. With your help on May 6th, we can get one. Thank you very much.
Does anyone have a question for Steve? Any questions?
Yes.
I have heard that at one time voted for Planned Parenthood. Now, can you tell me if that is accurate? And can you tell me why they would have chosen
It's a great question, and all of this is in the public record, so you don't need to take my word for it. At the time when the vote came up, I was the one who grilled the administration and pointed out the politicization of the process and the incoherence of their arguments. But unfortunately, the day of the vote, there were already 8 solid votes for the contract. So I tried to make the best of a bad situation by going to the administration and saying, in exchange for support, I want extra compliance monitoring above and beyond that required by law. And what they did, at my insistence, was they sent in mystery shoppers, and they also had confidential questionnaires that specifically, at my insistence, asked, has there been any religious proselytization? Have you been steered away from abortion? Has there been any delays in the provision of emergency contraception? Now, I monitored that, and whenever Planned Parenthood needed information along those lines, or along the lines of how many people have actually been served, it was me that they came to. and I worked with them to try to hold the administration accountable. We didn't have a lot of information about problems with religious proselytization from the reports, although there are anecdotal reports of problems about steering away from abortion and religious proselytization, and that's a huge concern. But the one thing that the compliance monitoring and the reports that I insisted on did prove is that the total number of visits by month dropped precipitously. Under Planned Parenthood, 700 to 800 per month, then it went down to 200 to 300 a month under CCHS. When I first went to the administration and complained about that, they said, well, this was just the first year, it was a transition year, give them time, the numbers will come back up. So then I waited. And just recently, I got the data from the administration, second year in a row, 200 to 300 visits per month. As far as I'm concerned, enough's enough. This was a failed experiment. I have publicly called already for the contract, which is set to be renewed at the beginning of the fiscal year in July, not to be renewed, and instead for the contract to be rebid. And what I've insisted on this time is when they do rebid it, instead of having the scoring being done by administration insiders, we have a politicized process, the scoring has to be done by a panel of outside independent medical experts to make sure that we don't politicize the process again. And if the administration does that in the next couple of weeks, great. If the administration doesn't do that, I'm going to sponsor a resolution insisting that they do exactly what I just said. Thank you for the question.
One more question.
So now, we don't get 4? Joking. I'm fine with just 2.
Okay. That was it.
Thank you very much. I had a limerick, but I ran out of time.
Okay.
I'll give it to you later.
We'll get it. One more question. This is the second question. Okay, now may I ask you not to make it as long?
Okay.
So you said in your opening address that you are a big supporter of pre-K.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on how you fund?
We have a $1.2 billion budget. We have $370 million. We have $370 million in the operating budget, right? The general fund every year. There's no reason why we can't find at least $5 million to expand pre-K. That'll get us dozens and dozens of more classrooms because the funding is going down for pre-K right now. We need to reverse that. We can also work out a cooperative arrangement. There's federal funding available that can match. We can probably get a contribution from the city, and I know there are some private sources that will at least do a one-time contribution. We can do a down payment on universal pre-K. In addition, there's an efficiency study that shows that there's $15 million in savings that we can get. We're not going to get all of that, but if we get even a part of it, we can get $5 million directly from the county for pre-K.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, our last one to speak will be Reverend Kenneth Quayle Jr. Did I get it right?
Thank you. Thank you, Democratic women, and thank you, Ms. V, for the introduction. I am Kenneth Whalum Jr., and I am the underdog candidate for Shelby County Mayor. All of the pundits, all of the professionals are saying Whalum hasn't a chance. He can't raise any money. He can't get the support of the corporate establishment, and I do not need it and do not want it. I want the support of the people I've been fighting for 33 years. I've spent 33 years building a brand of marriage, family, and loving our children. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not about politics. It's about the city of Memphis. The city of Memphis is the county seat of Shelby County, not the toilet seat. It's the county seat, not the toilet seat. We've got 9 schools about to close, and everybody's acting like everything is hunky-dory. That is an emergency. We are in crisis. In a Whalum administration, we're going to do something if we have to move all of the county divisions into the buildings they want to close. We are not going to let Memphis die. I don't owe anybody anything, and I guarantee I won't owe any money because they won't be bringing me the corporate money. You can't buy what can't be bought. I'm not afraid. You know my record, you know my passion. And it's funny, people come to me all the time, political professionals, oh, you're so passionate, as if that's a negative. Passion is what generates support. A famous Democrat has said recently, that you got to raise money if you're going to run a good campaign, if you're going to run an effective campaign. So to some Democrats, money equals decent campaign, not morals. Morals. Kenneth Whalum Jr., Shelby County Mayor. Thank you.
Two questions for Reverend Whalum. One is here.
Are you pro-choice?
I am pro-choice. I represent the ultimate pro-choice person. Choose ye this day.
Another question. He has one more question. Jackie.
I have a bunch of questions, but I'm also passionate about where the city and the county is going. What would you do to draw more commerce or industries here to the county so that hopefully we will put people to work and pay them a decent wage and women would get
The first thing I would do is the women who work for the Shelby County Mayor will be brought up to equal pay with the men who work for Shelby County Mayor. That's the first thing. I won't look to legislation, look to other sources to change the law. No, you get to determine who you pay and how much you pay, so the women that work for me will get paid on an equal basis with the men. How would I generate resources, generate business? I would bring in young people. Look, most of y'all have decided who you're going to vote for. Tell your children and your grandchildren that Cameron's dad is running. Tell your children and your grandchildren that the man who's been fighting for them for the last 30 years is running. The children who won't vote, the children who haven't been voting, the voting turnout that we've been bemoaning, how our young people aren't involved. Tell them Whalum is running. They'll get involved. That's how you generate business. You generate young people. I'll use my contacts in the musical industry to bring in conventions. Stop talking about how pitiful Cook Convention Center is. Draw the conventions that will fit inside the Cook Convention Center. We don't need to expand the convention center. Bring in these small music conventions. They'll fill it up. And let young people generate the commerce. That's my answer. Thank you. Thank you.